What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JB, aka John B, and welcome back to another episode of The Mandem. And in today's episode, I'm joined by or with
Kelvin, Kelvin.
Another spelling lesson.
Scott, I'm still British, and I'm still here to talk about football.
I'm Chris, and my beard is still red.
Big sexy red.
Same
Yeah,
intro.
it
It's the
sounds
same
good,
intro.
Don't do the
Already know it's your boy Marty, aka Akwesi, aka Quiz, aka Mana, and welcome to the Mando.
he's never gonna change, bro. He's gonna be the
No,
same.
that won't change. Why would I change?
What's that your shirt say, bro? What does it say?
It's a lucky T-shirt.
Oh, I thought it said stocky. That's bad.
All right,
Yo,
Mr.
Kelvin,
Scott.
do you play for that team?
Nah.
Nah, hold on. We gonna cut
Actually
that out.
don't.
Bro. We gonna cut that out. We're not giving them free
Nah,
promo,
but-
bro.
Oh, no, we're not giving no free
We're not
promos,
giving
bro.
Speaking of that team,
Oh, speaking of the team though, yo, how you guys like the the difference, or I guess dislike the difference of the structure here in the U.S. in terms of versus non-league, semi-pro level, and here non-league, how do you
From here, like in the U.S. and England.
Yeah,
there's
I
no
mean,
consequences here in the
Streets
U.S., bro.
apart. It's streets apart.
Vibes and inshallah.
I mean, the thing, because obviously, it's been international football going on around quite a bit. US played Jamaica the other day, 1-3-1. A lot of the players in that team.
They play in Europe
They're
now.
playing Europe now, which is good, because it used to be, the U.S. team, a lot of their guys
Just
were playing in the
Just
MLS.
all
and
MLS
it's just
dudes, bro.
all MLS guys, and then you had maybe a few guys in Europe, like Clint Dempsey, and
Landon Donovan.
other guys,
can't be a coincidence that
Tim Howard.
the U.S. overall quality is getting better as the players are
going abroad.
Bro, it's
And that's the thing. It's the system here where it's a system where you can't go very far, I guess. The thing about it is, a lot of other countries, they get this right because, football is a world game. Everyone's playing it. So obviously, you got your countries in Europe. You even got your countries, elsewhere, Africa, South America, Australia, Asia, whatever. They have so many different leagues that so many different players can play in, and that's why they build up, their pool of players to be where it is. Like if you're looking at England has, 4 professional divisions, obviously, and then anything under that is non-league
Non-league,
football.
yeah.
But you get so many good quality players in there because you got promotion relegation. You're going up and playing teams. You're coming down. You got cup competitions where you have to go. You have to travel. You have to play teams that are even bigger. Like just recently, hashtag United. They were just, they were a YouTube team, a couple years ago.
YouTube, yeah.
Now they're playing semi-professional football, and then they went ahead and they played Colchester the other week in a cup competition at their stadium. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You don't get those opportunities here.
I think the thing though with the U.S. It's really pay to play.
It's money.
It's
money
just
at the
money.
end of the day.
Like that's the reason why I feel like the U.S. is. I'm not saying they're never gonna reach to that point until it change. It's always gonna be the same. Because right now, even starting from the youth academy, some kids let's lose interest in playing because they can't afford to play in the teams or the clubs that they want to play at. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big factor of growing up and stuff. Like growing up in England. I mean, I didn't obviously grow up in England, but I. Wait, why you looking at Marty like that? But you obviously grew up in England, so you can vouch for this.
Exactly.
Their academies just pay for everything for you, as a player, right? If you're good enough, then
They take care of you.
They obviously
They
take
do.
care of you, which in the United States is not the same.
Yeah, I think what you're saying as well is not just pay to play, but it's I'd say the US, they got to the party late in terms of soccer and football. Because you look at all the investment that US put into their sports, American football, basketball, baseball, your biggest sports that are in this country, they didn't focus on football.
Right.
They didn't focus on football, and that's where all the other countries where it's the biggest game in the world, kind of outside the US, everyone you know in the world they're putting money into their football programs
Right.
for their kids, your youth, because that is the biggest sport. The US was late to that party, and they just didn't get the structure right from the start, because now you're falling into the trap of it is pay to play. So
Another downside is
Yeah.
that age limit. So
Mhm.
not only the age limit, but now they want you to go through college, and like if you graduate within then you're eligible to play for a team. Like they've had that going on where like overseas, clearly if you're good enough, 16 years of age, doesn't matter if you're in school or not, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, like, just looking at like the best U.S. national team players now, like I think only one of them went to college and graduated, and it's Matt Turner, the goalie, and he went through the MLS and then got signed by Europe. All of like the main guys in the U.S. squad, they went through youth academies in Europe, and they went up through them, and now they're playing first team football.
yeah,
So I mean,
It's
coming from a guy who grew up playing baseball in America, because you know soccer just wasn't a big sport for me. Like I understand it's just so expensive to play anything, especially in Northern Virginia,
Yeah.
where we all live.
This area, yeah.
and that's
Oh,
why
but,
that's
like-
why the US can't attract the talent, because
Yeah, that's why-
it's too much money.
That's why no one wants to come here to play football. Like actually though, like, I just lost my train of thought.
No, you're right, because even Zlatan Ibrahimovic said when he was playing for LA Galaxy,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, he had to
Yes, sir.
spend
Yes, sir.
5K on each kid to play soccer soccer, you know, in like for a season.
I regained my
You
train
know,
of thought.
that's what he said, and it's like, yo, football shouldn't be that.
Yeah.
You know, like you shouldn't have to spend 5K on each kid to put him in a football team. You
Proper
shouldn't-
academy.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. You know, that's crazy. Kids these days, it's like if the parents, you know, because kids are lucky. If the parents have the money, they're just gonna pay for them to go and play
Exactly,
travel
yeah,
and stuff like that. But it's like, yo, why don't you save that money? Don't play travel, and then instead try and go for like that higher level, like, you know, because right now the breakdown of like travel is, you know, MLS next, where like, you know, the kids are like really good. They get like all
Yeah.
the lights on them. ECNL, which is like kind of close, and then you get regular travel, which is more kind of like just rec. Now and then you get rec soccer, which is just like for fun, honestly. But like
yeah.
travel's kind of like for fun as
But
well. the
even
lowest
rec,
type of
you have to
travel.
pay a lot.
Yeah, you know, even recreational soccer, you have to play a lot now. Yeah.
I will say like it's like that across all American sports though, because like I said, I play baseball, and like my parents would shell out like $5,000 a season for me to play travel baseball just for a chance of being seen by colleges. Because like I played for my high school team, we didn't really we weren't a good team, so no one came out to see us, and I had to go be on a showcase team to go to these different schools to play in front of coaches. And it's like that for like every sport. Like football, American football doesn't have that type of thing, but that's because it's the biggest sport, so everyone knows about it. But like baseball, hockey, basketball, they all have these like travel teams that go, and if you're not playing for those travel teams, you're not going to be seen.
See, it shouldn't even be like that in the
It
first
shouldn't.
place with any sport, right? Like, let alone football. But
Yeah.
like, it won't even change because like people will complain and say, oh yeah, like the football needs to change, like soccer needs to change, but everyone in the other sports are like, oh, it's the same way, so they're also gonna ask to change. US, like the way the sporting regulation is, they're not gonna change everything. They're gonna keep it how it is.
Yeah.
The
'Cause
thing-
They're not gonna change.
The thing that's crazy is like there's a lot of money into sports. You know what I'm saying? Like you telling me that you can't sponsor like, you know, let me say 6-7 academy teams to like play for free. Like I'm not saying like everybody gotta like be paid for, but like at least like the people that can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? If you're good enough and you can afford it, they should at least have like some plan for you. Like okay,
Like the
look,
scholarships and stuff.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
you be like, oh, okay, you have good grades in school. Like we can afford to pay this for you if you know what I'm saying, something like
Yeah.
that. And like
Yeah.
the thing that's also crazy is that we have a lot of foreign people that comes from different national, different places. And you telling me like in the U.S., like I mean they come over here obviously naturalized, and you telling me that we can't bring a whole team together like that can actually compete? Because bro, listen, we should be like up there.
Not we, bro. I don't.
Okay, I'm sorry, America.
We-
should be
we-
up there.
The US, the US should be up
They
there.
should be.
Yeah,
up
we
there,
should.
You know,
Yes.
based on like sports, like
It's too
anything,
many.
they should be up there because like there's a lot of different people from different places that come to US to come, like, you know, for a better life or whatever. And like
Yeah.
most of them, they play sports, you know, and like unfortunately, a lot of them can't afford to like take it to the next step, you know, unless
Yeah.
they go through like the little rec thing, like you said. And even that is still bread, and some people still can't afford that.
And it's difficult because there's
You
not
know?
like a path for players. Because here's the thing: if you're in England, you're in like an academy when you're young, you just go to your local area.
Right.
Because like anywhere in England, like any town in England, most likely has a youth
I have
like
a youth team.
youth team, youth football club.
Yep.
And you just go your way up. Even like when you're 16, maybe so I was playing for Esher Athletic when I was, you know, like U8, U9, like U10 pretty much. Let's say I stayed in England until I was 16. Esher is in the non-league pyramid. So regardless of like, you know, if I stayed or if I left, I could potentially play in that non-league pyramid. Doesn't matter what step it's at. You're playing in that non-league pyramid and you're playing semi-professional football.
Right.
You know, like it just gets to that point, you know, semi-professional, like low amateur, whatever, you know, it gets to that point. Kids here, they don't have that because it's like after you play travel, where do you go? You either go to college or like you either go and play at college or you don't.
Right.
That's the flip side because it's like, can you join a club in your area? I mean, it depends on the club. It's not going to be like the best level, maybe, you know, or maybe you have like, especially in the DMV, in terms of like some teams, it's getting better in the DMV, I'd say, in terms of like the number of teams. But it's like, even that is not even like semi-pro in terms of like the other teams that you have in terms of the
And even if you have to go to soccer,
USL, you know, like it's not even close to that level.
But like, just look at like the MLS itself. The American, like the non-European players, the American players, almost all of them, except for like maybe 2 per team, like the 16 or 17-year-olds that they have on their team, almost all of them went to college and they got drafted because the MLS has that draft. So like there's no like way for like young players who are 16, 17, 18 who are better than some of these college kids to actually make a professional team in America because it's just not how it works.
even college is so expensive. So like college in itself is already like another like huge financial like responsibility that you have to do. Like it's just so much more.
If you're not like the best player in your region, you're not getting a scholarship, and that's the only way you can pay for college for some of these kids.
Yeah. And you have to be so good to be able to get in like to an academy. Like you look at DC United in this area, you have to be like very good to get into that Loudoun Academy. There is no like academy or like local team. Like there's no like, I don't know, Vienna. There's no like Fairfax like football club or like something like that that's like that can feed into like a Loudoun.
Right.
You know, there's no like there's no Vienna or like, you know, Manassas, whatever, a team that's pretty local that can feed into, you know, like a Loudoun. You don't have that here. You have that in England though. You have the team that can like it'll feed you up or like you know, go through the ranks of like the non-league pyramid. You don't have that here.
I will say though, like within like the last 5 years, like soccer has become like way more popular in America. Like no one used to talk about it like before like 2019 in America outside of like probably you guys, but like saying like just from my experience growing up, like no one used to talk about it. But like now it's just becoming more and more popular. You know, getting players in like Messi to the MLS playing in the United States helps that. But like I don't think fundamentally like stuff like this will change anytime soon, but like getting more eyes on the sport itself and having it rise in popularity will help somewhat, like to an extent. With
I mean, we've already started to see it a little bit, just like the evidence is with the U.S. team. Like those players are better, like overall quality. They're better. So like, the more eyes, the more people from, the more players that come over here, put more eyes in the MLS and like soccer here in the U.S. Like there's gonna be more traction. Like you're gonna see more agents like come here and like continue to scout people, and like you're gonna see like more clubs like, you know, like Barca Academy and like Olympiacos and stuff like that. You're gonna see more of that.
I'll say like another drawback though, like just the pure size of America.
That too, yeah.
Like England, like I'm not. It's like a joke that England's like the size of Michigan, but like that helps. Like not having to travel 700 miles to play the next best team.
Yeah.
Helps.
Yeah. I would say there could be a little bit of a solution for that because, you know,
Just
if
regions.
you exactly, you go regions. You drop down the non-league pyramid in England
Right.
because you go to like so you go Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. All those teams, they're funded. They will travel to get to a game because that is a professional level. You go to non-league, you're still pretty much getting good funding because a lot of the non-league teams now at that step 1 in the Vanarama National League are professional clubs.
Right.
They're paying their players and they're full-time. I think there are like 2 teams in there that are like part-time right now or in like a hybrid system. But every single person is going to go ahead and they're going to travel pretty much to their games. Then you get the split off. this is where it gets a little bit different. So once you get relegated or you drop down from the National League to the Vanarama National League, you go into the National League North and the National League South, which is where you split the team. So if England is, looking, if you're looking at England on a map, they cut the map in half, and it's like, okay, half the teams in the National League North are in the North, so they stay there.
Right.
Half of the teams in the South, they stay there.
Exactly.
You do this with the US in terms of like the teams that they have right now, because it's difficult, obviously, in terms of like the scale of it. But I mean, you could go maybe like a North.
Well, you can do like Mid-Atlantic, which is like Northern East Coast, Southeast, South, Midwest, West.
Yeah, you
Similar
could.
to how they have like they do with
That's
the
how they do
NFL.
baseball.
Like NFL or baseball, or like just like split it one way, split it again, and then you have your 4 regions, and then those people in those 4 regions, they play.
Yeah,
That's
you could have 4, 6, 8 regions. However many you need to break it down. But that could also just like improve the quality of the game for the US, because it's like now you've broken down, you have regions, you'll have teams in those regions that are going to play each other consistently in a league. But the other issue, and it is the glaring issue that's wrong with US soccer at the minute, there is no promotion and relegation.
Right.
You don't get rewarded for doing well. You have teams in the MLS that can finish dead last, and it doesn't mean anything.
They actually
It really
get
doesn't mean anything.
they
Miami.
actually get a better draft spot.
Better draft spot.
You
That's
get
what
you
you guys
want
yeah,
for something.
for being the worst team in the league, you get the
Yeah.
best college
Yeah,
player.
the worse you
Yeah.
do, like the better like opportunity you have to.
You get the best college player.
which
Yeah.
is like it makes. I mean, it keeps it fair, but at the same time, it's like
Like that. I mean, that's the only reason it does this, because that's how every other American
That's
sport
how
works.
all the sports in the U.S.
That's NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB. All of those sports, the worse you are, the better chance you have of getting the best,
Exactly.
the best
pick.
youth player, pretty much.
Which is, I think it does the US a disservice, because
Do you have something to say, Kelvin?
I guess you're saving the best for the last, so just keep going.
All right.
I think you're giving you're doing the US a disservice if you have the MLS, and then it's USL, and then USL League 1, USL League 2, and then like the runoff leagues from that. You get like your local leagues, like your MPSL in Northern Virginia,
right.
and like the Maryland like Super Soccer League and stuff like that, like your semi pro or like low amateur or like high amateur leagues, whatever. You're doing a disservice not having that promotion and relegation, because it's incredibly difficult for a team like in this region, like talking DMV, Northern Virginia, to really like grow and like develop and like potentially have a shot at playing in the MLS, because like there could be a bunch of players here that or like a club that could be set up to be, and if it's run well, it could be better than DC United.
Right.
Like we've seen DC United struggle in the last couple of years, and it's like that could potentially be a thing, but it can't be a thing because of the way that everything's
It's
set
set
up.
up.
franchise. That's
Yeah.
everything is franchise.
It's franchise. Yeah, it's franchised. DC United is not going to get relegated. No team that finishes last is going to get relegated. There's a vein forming on the side of Calvin's head right now.
I want to hear what Kelvin has to say.
You see that?
All right, so since they were saving the best for last, and I finally get to speak, this is the thing, right? You're looking at it like this is how they look at football, right? Or sports in general. It's just how it looks, how it appeals to the audience. They don't care about the foundation. Like, we talk about how versus England, there's this Bayes system of talent and all that. They sieve all that to get to the next level. Over here in the U.S., it's more like the rich get to play the sports at youth levels, but once you get to the professional stage, it's like whoever was like could made it out of those rich guys. If you were good enough, cool. Because I know so many players, like personally, that are way better than like
pro players and
these so-called academy players, and they have no chance to get into those teams. Why? Because they have no money, right? I know football is like it's marketing, like anywhere is marketing, but at least in Europe, it's more like okay, the professional stage is marketing, of course, but to get there, it's just based on your talent. That's it. Maguire's a different case, but it's like your talent takes you up there, and then they market you, right? But over here in the U.S., it's more like if you
How
can
marketable are
pay,
you?
if you can pay to get in, okay, cool. If you can't, then it's like you've been left behind,
That's tough.
That's why players like you mentioned, like Messi and all of them. Zlatan came to the U.S. at what age? 36, 35, 36? And who are they talking about? Zlatan. Like, You can mention like 10 players right now, young players that have the potential to play in Europe, but you can get like 10 players over 35 that are good enough to play here. What's the case? Because like over there, quote unquote, like the outcasts are like, okay, they're done with their careers. That's when they come here and they're big over here. Bro, the talent are not growing, bro. There's nothing. There's no space for you to grow. Because as much as you do, if you're a player, you have to move teams to like technically get on a bigger level. So the small teams never get to grow. There's no relegation system. There's no like promotion system. So if a team, let's say bottom 3, they're so bad, they're gonna stay in the league anyways. There's nothing like, oh, we need to play good. Yeah. We need to develop our talents. We need to get to this level because we're gonna get dropped. There's no threat.
I will say
nothing to be scared of.
Like the only like American like soccer league that's like does relegation and is more competitive than the MLS that way is USL, because they have like 3 different levels and they do promotion relegation, and I only know that because Pittsburgh has a USL team. But like it's a far more competitive league than the MLS. But like the MLS, you have like your top teams.
Yeah, but can any of those USL teams get into the MLS?
Probably not. No,
that's the problem.
Because they don't have the top talent.
You have to I think you have to pay,
and they don't have the funding either.
An expansion team, to even.
It costs like LAFC like what 1.2 billion to even get into the MLS.
It gets back to the money part. It's like what if a team in the USL might be good enough and maybe better than like, let's say 40% of the MLS teams, but they never get the chance to play there.
Well, it's because
they can't pay for a spot.
Yeah, it's because like it's franchises. Yeah, it's like the league is the parent company, then everything else is a franchise of that league.
Marketing.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's frustrating as well, because you do have those USL teams that can be good. Mm-hmm. There is not going to be, if they don't change it to relegation soon, because I know they have conferences, right? Let's say you relegate 2. The bottom 2 get relegated, and then you bring up the top 2 from like the USL in that region. It shows that the league is progressing a little bit more. But the thing is, it's just never gonna happen at this point.
No, you're not.
They're just gonna keep bringing in franchises.
The MLS won't open that up.
How are you supposed to grow a league? How are you supposed to grow the foundations of like football in the US? You can't. Because it's a flawed system at the end of the day.
Like, they're just gonna inject more money into like certain teams. Certain people are gonna come in. Billionaires are gonna come in and be like, "Oh, this is an opportunity."
Right.
Because there's the money is always gonna continuously like circulate just within its own thing. Like, so the people already there are making money.
It's like the rich.
Why would they allow like money to basically stream out? That's their thing.
It's like the rich gets richer and like the poor.
Like the thing that peeves me the most though about like these new franchises, like a billionaire owner will come in, like can easily afford to build his own stadium, pay his own players, but like they ask the taxpayers to build the stadium. They ask everyone to fund everything for them, even though they clearly have the money to do it.
All right, pure example, Inter Miami.
I was just about to say that.
Beckham, same deal through LA Galaxy, gets his own expansion team, gets 25% off or whatever like percentage it was. Messi has the same deal. So let's say in a couple years, Messi's retired. He wants to
get his own team.
Boom. Right there, straight into the MLS.
And it's not like
all these years the teams in the low division.
That's not fair to any.
It's not like they're picking these teams from the lower division. They're just making their own thing.
Yeah. It's their own franchise.
Yeah.
Basically, gotta pay for your spot.
It's a TV show, bro. That's why I look at like you. It's a TV show.
Yeah,
it's how it looks on the TV.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
it's a flawed system.
Yeah.
Because like with I'm just gonna equate it to the NFL. Like the NFL, they're like for their tax bracket, they're not like ran as a business. They're ran as an entertainment business. Because it's all about entertainment. It's all how much money you can bring in via TV deals, marketing, shirt sales. It's like that for every single American sport. It's about how much money you can bring in without spending.
Like MLS, they just got their deal with Apple TV to show all the matches. You know,
no one's buying Apple TV, bro. That thing sucks.
Yeah. but
some people have it.
The ones that already have it are using it. But.
And then Messi started like not playing games because he was injured. I canceled it. I was like, my pocket is injured too.
Like honestly though, like for me as an American soccer fan, there's no reason to watch MLS because I'm not paying $9.99 a month when I'm already paying for Peacock to watch Premier League. When I'm already paying for
Peacock.
when I'm already paying for CBS Sports to watch Champions League. Like that's another thing.
Wait, what you paying for CBS?
Paramount Plus.
Like the last 7 to 8 years.
I wasn't paying for it
Oh,
because
okay,
we weren't
okay.
in it. Thank you.
Because Arsenal wasn't in it.
yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh,
But like,
my Lord.
that's like the worst thing though, because it's not on like cable television. Like you have to pay to watch the sport too.
Yeah.
And like while the sport is growing in the U.S., like it is still like everything's behind a paywall to play, to watch, to enjoy,
Yeah.
And the quality suffers.
Yeah.
The quality of the MLS is not there in terms of like the leagues in Europe, even like the lower leagues in Europe. Like I feel like, you know, teams in, you know, League One in England, you know, like hell, a Bolton, you know, could
Bro.
they
was
could-
smoke half the-
bro,
all
they-
the-
all the
everybody,
teams,
bro.
bro.
Everyone.
You saying how?
they would come to the MLS and do really well because
Yeah.
like it's just the quality,
They
the
win it
overall
every
quality is
time.
better,
Bro,
you know.
any
Make into a farmers
I'm
league,
telling
bro.
you, any team outside the U.S. could beat a U.S. team.
Bro.
Liga MX teams.
Who could make
could
an
beat-
FXA
could
team
beat-
right now?
Liga
No,
MX
bro,
teams
no,
could
Joe,
beat
you-
MLS
bro, no
teams.
cap,
You'd be
bro.
surprised
Like,
who could beat some
we
teams,
could,
bro.
We could
Like
get
a
some
proper
players,
FXA.
Like we could
yeah,
get
nah.
some.
You know what I'm saying? Like proper, like
Yeah, we could get some.
Not
ballers,
not casual
Nah,
FXA.
nah,
Like
nah, proper.
Yeah.
But like Liga MX teams could beat the MLS teams easy. There's a reason why the MLS pulled out of playing. I forget what the cup was named, but they pulled their clubs out from playing in like a cup against
Champions
They
League.
trying to
CONCACAF
be like
cha-
a-
yeah
Champions
CONCACAF Champions League because they know they have no
They're
chance.
Like, yeah, so they're
Yeah.
not-
So they're like, we're not playing, and so the CONCACAF was like, all right, USL teams.
team
Do you
from a
wanna play?
village in Mexico is just gonna smoke everyone, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's good for the USL because now they get money from playing against other teams. But like that still doesn't help
That's the
anything.
thing. It's not helping them. They're just selling them like the dream. But it's
Yeah,
like,
it gives them.
there's only a few that can
yeah,
get. It's like,
exactly.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, because like the biggest thing is that with the structure that the US have right now, the quality is going to suffer. The quality of the players is going to suffer, and the only way to get that quality, which is what we've seen for the last couple of years, is that US players have gone abroad. They've gone to
Yeah,
Europe, and
absolutely.
they've gone to they've gone to the toughest leagues. They've gone to the hardest teams to play in, and they've done well. Like you see, Christian Pulisic, he did pretty well at Chelsea. You know, he
Lockdown
had-
Pulisic was different.
Nah,
Bro.
he was good at Chelsea for a bit. You know, he's at AC Milan now. Tyler Adams, he was at RB Leipzig. Now he's in England. He's
Bournemouth.
He's at Bournemouth now after playing a little bit for Leeds. Weston McKennie, you know, he's at Juve now. You know, it's these players that are going abroad that are very good. Yunus Musa. There are players that are going abroad now that play for the US national team that are finding a lot of success in Europe, and it shows on the field for the US now. It's difficult when you look at the MLS to say that it's, you know, as good as like leagues in Europe, because it just isn't. And it's because the structure of the league and the structure of how they've built football in this country from like a grassroots level is flawed.
Exactly.
And they are going to continue to struggle if they don't make changes.
All right,
Anyways,
guys.
all that to say, America's
let us-
fucked.
Let's leave a like, leave a comment.
America
You
is
know,
fucked.
just let us know what y'all think.
Yeah,
and
let us know what you guys think about the system here in the U.S. Like, what ways can be fixed?
Yeah, if you
There-
want us to talk
there's
about
no
it
hope.
more, we can go into more detail. Just let us know.
Nah,
Okay.
this is detailed enough.
Kelvin doesn't want to talk about it no more.
All right.
have a
That's
good
it.
one.
Take
Peace.
care.